here!
Time's up!
Transport!
Let's go!
Superman movie.
It's the Justice League
It's
movie.
a Superman movie.
You have Victor Stone, Wonder Woman, Batman in it. It's a Justice League movie. Oh, and Superman. It's a Justice League movie.
I like how Batman's name is before Superman.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
It's supposed to be a Superman. Granted, it's not a Superman movie, but it's supposed to be a Superman movie, and Batman is the first name.
Maybe they're going in alphabetical order. That doesn't matter.
Did you see the new photo of a card on the wall hinting that the Joker might be in the movie?
No. Why?
Well, it's better than Lex Luthor having tattoos.
It doesn't even matter. Lex Luthor, Joker. What's next? They're gonna have Ocean Master.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
The Cheetah. Yes, but that's not the point. And then Gorilla Grodd. I mean, no, it's
Mirror
dumb.
Master.
That would be awesome.
And Howard the Duck.
Wrong.
I know.
No.
I just want Howard the Duck back. Is that so wrong? It's
No.
not so wrong.
I want it to, but it's not gonna happen.
Just walking down the street having a cigar and rum.
Speaking of Howard the Duck, welcome to Movie Roulette. I'm Chad.
I'm Todd.
And we saw X-Men, Days of Futures Past. And wow.
Yeah. When
I was surprised.
when I think of the X-Men movies, I think of subpar action movies.
Wolverine.
Oh, no, that's just a plain piece of crap.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they've always been plain action movies. Nothing surprising.
Boring. Just really dull. And nobody's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They put way too much in it going on. I mean, First Class.
First Class is like, this person's evil, so he's evil. This person's evil, he's evil. That person's good, they're good.
As you might know, though, that Days of Futures Past is actually the sequel to First Class. And also the sequel to all the other films.
You think?
I guess. I mean,
Professor X was alive.
Which didn't explain anything because he blew up in the third one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is pretty much about Kitty Pryde
sends Wolverine into the past to stop Magneto and Mystique from killing Peter Dinklage.
And so, Peter Dinklage is actually the creator of the Sentinels that actually hunt mutants. Now, these Sentinels are what causes the extinction of mutants in the future. Which is really strange, because to be perfectly honest with you, I've never read Days of Future Past. I'm not an X-Men guy. So me kind of going in there, I'm just kind of like, what? The reason why you send that Wolverine into the future is because he is the only person who can survive that long of a time travel. Which is really strange, because you're sending brainwaves, not your brain. So what does the healing have to do with anything?
I couldn't tell you. I just want to know when Kitty Pryde had that ability in the comics.
Yeah, that was really strange. You had a lot of mutants that had the different babies. You had Warpath, whose powers weren't really clear. I actually had to look his powers up, because I was just like, he's a mutant? He's not doing anything.
You got the confusing powers of Bishop.
Yeah, those really weird powers.
The portal chick.
Blink, which...
Just plays Portal.
She plays Portal all the time. Sunspot, which I know who Sunspot is.
Honestly, I didn't know. I thought he was the Human Torch.
No, it was Sunspot. He was actually in one of the older. Yeah. He was in Evolution. Yeah. That's all.
But I mean, it would have been nice to have it been a machine instead of his, the whole head thing, because you could have sent more mutants back in time.
You could have, yeah, definitely.
And I think that would have been a much more interesting aspect.
Yeah, I agree. I think here's the thing with this movie, and it's good, don't get me wrong. The visuals are great. The actual acting is great. Everybody's awesome because actually Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart all come back, which is great. He's not a talking tree. So the one thing about this movie, though, is that there was a lot of missed opportunities, though, when it came to actually building up the storyline. When you had Wolverine go into the into the past, they ran into Quicksilver, who, to be perfectly honest with you, could have been taken out of the film.
Yeah.
It would have been the same thing. The only reason why he was in there was they go up to him and go, I know a guy who could break Magneto out of the Pentagon. And it's not Galactus or Adam Warlock. It's none of them. It's Quicksilver.
That really kind of made me mad because it's like you introduced this character, right? You did your job. Bye. Have a nice day.
Exactly. And it doesn't even lead up to the actual fact that Quicksilver is Magneto's son.
A little hint there.
Yeah, a little bit, but it wasn't enough for the audience are just like, well, why is this character relevant?
Yeah, it would have been nice, even if they took him out of the picture and he came back in the last 15 minutes saving people. I wouldn't have minded that.
Other than that, they built him up. It was kind of like Kitty Pryde and Colossus from X-Men 2. You built them up, and they had 10 seconds of screen time. Not even.
Yeah.
So it was why even bother mentioning them? So, but other than that, though, I did feel like the whole transition between the two, future and present, was actually really well done.
I agree with you, but I disagree with you at the same time. I'd like to have seen certain events when it happened affect the future.
Yeah.
I really thought there was the scene where Magneto puts the iron rods into the Sentinels.
Yeah.
And I was really expecting, because they cut to the scene with Magneto in the future coming out there, and I was just thinking to myself, oh, he set himself up. So now there's metal in the Sentinel.
So then he could save the day and say, hey, not all mutants are bad. Instead, he does that really weird speech. Also, Peter Dinklage's character didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
That whole thing about, oh, well, we're going to all, unite under a common enemy. It was like, what?
It made sense, but it was a stupid sense.
Yeah, that's like saying, well, the Russians are all bad. We should totally all form together
to stop
the Russians. It's it doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. It's like if, a lion, you just decided to maul somebody. It's like, we should all hate lions now because they're lions and they're the common enemy of man.
Well, yeah.
So it just sounded really ridiculous. Interestingly, though, William Stryker was in this movie, which was really strange. Was pointless, but it was kind of interesting too. But nobody really knew who he was.
Yeah.
You actually had to watch Wolverine in order to know who he was.
And no one really wants to think about Wolverine.
Nobody wants to know that Wolverine exists anyway. But I guess it's just that this movie, though, and kind of going on the good side of it, the storyline was really interesting. So it kept you kind of saying, I wonder exactly what is going to happen, especially with people who haven't actually seen the comic book or read it at all, because I haven't. So I really didn't know exactly what to expect.
Yeah, I was really thinking that Mystique was going to kill him.
I did too.
Or something else, or...
Yeah, just, was she going to kill him? Was she not going to kill him? I was just like, well, now it could go any way. But I do agree with you on it. It should have been that you should have seen what would be maybe brought in, each kind of portion doing its thing.
Yeah. Because
clearly, even the scenes where, Magneto was released, that changes something. So it could have changed that, hey, maybe, it's just, they go, maybe not it being all completely destroyed, but maybe them still fighting the Sentinel. You know what I mean? Just kind of showing maybe even progression of it leading up to the complete wipeout of the extinction of the mutants.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the one thing, though, I could say with it is this is probably, and I hate saying it, it's right up there, I could say, out of all the X-Men movies, this one's probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's really a toss-up between X2 and then this one. Because I think X2 really delved into who the real enemy is, how do you do with the mutants, you know, should the mutants kill all the humans, should the humans kill all the mutants. Here it's, we're just trying to protect our future.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Why? I mean, what was the point in even trying to wage war on the mutants? They weren't doing anything.
Well, I mean, this has always been my thing with the comic books. They have a power.
Yeah.
That can pretty much just kill you in a minute.
Some.
Well, yeah, some. But, I mean, it only takes... Storm's a freaking god. Okay? There's no doubt about Storm's a god. So I understand the government going, we gotta take care of this situation. Does that situation mean build giant robots? No!
Because that makes it worse.
But you do have to look at that scenario.
And I get that. That's cool. That's fine. Because if somebody started shooting lasers out of their eyes in front of me, I'd be a little freaked out. I'm like, is he gonna melt me? Probably. Then I don't have to go to work in the morning. I mean, it's just like one of those things where it just depends on the situation, though. But there's no reason for it to say, all right, we know one guy can lift metal with his mind. Should we build a giant robot to stop him? No! You could at least say, and it's kind of like with Spider-Man 2, talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Are you bad? Well, probably some of us are. I mean, it's like, you know, you have evil dictators and everything. That doesn't mean you do wage war on them. But it's like, talk to them first. You're supposed to talk and then wage war. If they are a threat, sure. There are good, there are bad. We know this now.
If the government would just take time to talk to Mystique, the whole world's problems would be gone.
Solved.
Because you just use Mystique like, you're going to be this guy from now on?
Do you want to work for us? We will give you millions of dollars if you could steal Russia's secrets. So, all in all, though, I guess the one thing I could say if they could really do anything different is they had a huge opportunity, and I won't spoil the ending, but they had a huge opportunity in the ending to bring a lot together. You had that opportunity to include different mutants, different people, and you kind of missed the ball on that part. Even maybe in the beginning, too, you could have shown different mutants, even if it's just a cameo.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had the cameo at the beginning at the army base with Toad and Havoc. Yeah, but it didn't go anywhere.
And it didn't go anywhere. It's just like, well, why? Yeah. So that's the only complaint I have.
My big thing is... What was I going to say? My big thing was they should have done more. The old should have talked to the new.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been the Adventures of Wolverine and young Professor X. That's what it was.
Sure.
It should have been, we're going to get the band back together and save the day.
And then travel by map.
I mean, that's what it should, because you had Havoc in the movie, and it's like, well, why didn't you go get Havoc? Like, why isn't Havoc coming and save the day?
Because
you had Toad. Why wasn't Toad next to Magneto being like, I'm going to stick my tongue out for you? You know, it would have been nice to see Ian McKellen and the young Magneto talking. Definitely fight. I think that was like
great.
Professor X, talking to each other. I mean, have Kitty Pryde, I don't know, make out with somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, just do something.
It's Ellen Page. You gotta make
she has to kiss somebody.
Yeah.
She didn't, which is weird. Nobody kissed anything in this movie. Nobody kissed. That was weird.
I thought it was very out of character for Magneto to shoot Mystique.
Yeah.
I understand it's for the mutant kind.
But you're shooting your
friend.
mutant kind. So, but all in all, though, I give it an A.
I have to give it a B. There was too many missed opportunities. that should have done happen. You should have had that crossover with the old and new. You should have had it in more mutants. Give me the Brotherhood for crying out loud.
Here's the thing, though. I'm giving it an A, and the reason why is that there was a lot of good just scenes where you were just like, what is going to happen next? It really kept you thinking. And that's what I really enjoyed. I agree. There was a lot of missed opportunities. But I'm pretty sure, wait till after the credits, they're going to make up for it.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, there was just moments, and there's the Quicksilver scene. It was pointless.
But it was awesome.
It was awesome, but it was
pointless.
pointless. I mean, you could have done the whole scene without
True.
him, and it just could have been, Magneto and Professor X and Wolverine. And
Yeah, just those 4 characters are kind of like, but I want to see Blob.
Yeah,
Blob. But
wasn't he
What?
in the third one?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of Juggernaut?
I'm thinking Juggernaut.
Juggernaut, bitch.
Juggernaut was in 3. I think he was in 2. Anyway, I'm
No,
Chad.
he wasn't in 2. I do know that.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm Chad.
I'm Todd.
And that was Movie Roulette.
Really?
Good night.